Hello, this is Bill Cludsey. Welcome to a Throne of Eldraine draft. A fun set. I've enjoyed drafting blue a lot, but it looks like here we can diverge from that a little bit with a nice build around uncommon Trail of Crumbs. Taking it here doesn't mean we're committing to green yet, but it means we can pick powerful green commons and uncommons if we see them. Generally, I like to stay open because if you can find one color that's way more open than another, then you can build a good monocolored deck and just keep getting the most powerful things. Smasher's not awful, fits into a couple powerful decks, but the payoff of Trail of Crumbs is too good to ignore here. Giant Opportunity. This card is high variance. It is especially good with Trail of Crumbs because you're talking 9 life and 3 cards over time. But if you have a couple food makers like Trail of Crumbs, getting a 7/7 into play early is just going to outclass most things. Now, blue has a lot of good ways of dealing with it, like bouncing it, making it, tapping it, whatever it might be. And there are a couple good removal spells that come in out of black that can deal with it. But anyway, I will take it here because if we get a bunch of these style of cards, we're in good shape. Nice. Here's one of those black spells that can deal with it. Golden Egg is also kind of interesting here, but yeah, I'll take Bacon to Pie. It deals with almost any creature permanently. A lot of good strategies can get creatures back from the graveyard and such, but anyway, black-green. I wouldn't mind being mono-green in a deck like this, but Bacon to Pie is such a good payoff here that I'll just grab it. And kind of a good sign that it's being passed. Barrow Witches. There's a surprising number of green knights, but I think we'll pass that on. Paladin is one I'm happy to look at, and Clockwork Servant is another good one. I think I like the Paladin here. I don't want too many 5-drops, but 3 or so of these Paladins, I mean, they hit so hard, and it has another benefit of cutting green a bit. I like the Servant better than the Hengewalker here, but I'm going to go for the Paladin. There we go, Fierce Witchstalker. Cauldron Familiar is also somewhat appealing, but the Witchstalker is too good for what we're trying to do. And the Familiar, even with the food synergy we might have, pretty solid with Trail of Crumbs, it's only going to stand out if you have the Witch's Oven. So no guarantee we get past that, and Witchstalker is just such a nice card on curve. Outmuscle turns all of our big monsters into straight removal spells. Cabin is a good one, but not as good as Outmuscle here. Good start to a draft. A couple options here, Tempting Witch and Noble. Not going to branch into white or red. You see blue has disappeared, but the Witch can turn Giant Opportunity into a Giant Burn spell, and just the fact that it makes a food makes Giant Opportunity better. Once in Future. Yeah, that's a solid pickup this late. And get back your 2 best cards. And a card like this, out of green, I would expect it to get permanents back, but it's just 2 revives. Late Lucky Clover. Unfortunately, we don't have our foot in the door with any adventures, so we'll take Once in Future. Another Paladin. That's coming late. The fruit is not as good when we're so heavy green. It can make a food, but it just usually won't. So I think that's a lot worse, and Paladin is such a good card. There's a lot of creatures out there with less than 3 power. You've got 0/4s out of blue, 1/4s, and a lot of 2/3s and things like that. This just sweeps through. And then the creatures that can block it usually have to single block it, so they can't team up like a 3/3 and a 2/2. They just have to chump with their 3/3 to survive. So Paladin plays very well, and is a knight for what that's worth. Got a couple options here. Forever Young, much more powerful than Curious Pear, but at this point the food synergy is strong, and I'm going to take Curious Pear. Besides the back of my mind that thinks we might go into mono green, and the front of my mind which says we should cut green as hard as we can, I'll pass most of this stuff. If anything, Youthful Knight, I'll take Queen of Ice. Weapon Rack and Squire. Weapon Rack. Generally it's good if you have small creatures that don't perform well, but I think the Squire is more likely that we play it here. Cottage versus Tall as a Beanstalk. This card might be playable. It makes your stuff into giants. It's something I wouldn't generally want to play, but yeah, the giant creature type on Paladin is also relevant in case they get the Realm Cloaked giant. Witchstalker versus Banner. That is a tough one. Banner lets us potentially cast a turn 4 Paladin. Bacon to Pie is just nuts. And then Witchstalker is exactly what we want for this deck. I think we want it more than Bacon to Pie, and more than the Heraldic Banner. Shoot, Gadwick is a nice pull too, but not for us. Bacon to Pie. Yeah, let's go for Witchstalker here. It does everything we want it to do. Even more so than the Banner. I think the creatures we're looking at now are just big enough on their own, hopefully, to get the job done. Another Witchstalker. Yeah, I mean, there's no limit to how many of these you'd want. So I will keep taking them. And the more we get, I mean, the higher chance we have of getting this giant opportunity down on turn 5 as a 7/7. Not so bad. All right, good options here. Gingerbrute, Cauldron, not so much Wolf's Quarry, though that gets better with the Banner that we passed. Gingerbrute is a food, so if you want a 7/7 early, you can do that. Yeah, with the food synergy, Gingerbrute makes a bit more sense than Cauldron, though that's got to be close. I want this egg. I don't want Wandermare. Drown in the Loch is amazing, but I don't want that. The Carver is good, but it's only good if you have creatures early, and we don't. So I'm going to grab this egg. Keeper of Fables. There we go. We might not be able to take that here. We might have to take Marleaf Rider, which has a lot of upside in this deck with Trail of Crumbs. It's our first shot at it. I'm going to consider black if we need it later, but right now we should do this. Rider versus Keeper of Fables. It seems crazy to choose here, but I'm going to take the Rider because I really worry about getting enough playables at early. And the free sacrifice outlet, you can even target your own creatures, I guess. The free sacrifice outlet is nice with Trail of Crumbs if you're just using it to draw. Another Once in Future and Scalding Cauldron. It's tough, but I think Once in Future is just too good. Get 2 cards back from your graveyard. No questions asked. Beanstalk Giant is nice, and Savvy Hunter. Oh, that's too tough. Savvy Hunter. I think we'll go for Beanstalk Giant here. Monocolored is just makes your deck so consistent. The Savvy Hunter would be really good, but you know, if anything worse than Beanstalk Giant was here, I would take the Hunter, but at this point I think that the Giant is good enough. And that's another one that lets us play a turn 4 Paladin. Not that we'll need something better than Witchstalker to do on turn 4, but that's all upside. The other nice part about the Giant is it helps us splash a black card if we do get there. Nice. I always like a Return to Nature in the main deck. Some of the best strategies include tons of artifacts and enchantments, so even if that isn't someone's main strategy, they often have an artifact creature or two. Forever Young, like the monocolored decks, take advantage of all the adamant artifact creatures. Yeah, well, so little chance I go into white, but if we do, we're going to want something like Guide Mother. Cool foil forest there too. I think if I was in a live draft, I'd just grab that because it's shiny. That's one I saw in a live draft. A foil golden egg. I think I had to pass it for something better, but it looked cool. Jousting Dummy and Wolf's Quarry. We're really not doing the Wolf's Quarry thing. This might be good with a Witch's Oven, but let's grab a 2-drop. Yeah, like here's a perfectly playable artifact creature and target for, where is it? Return to Nature. Carver comes back. Yeah, at this point we have enough little creatures to make it better. Nice pump spell. That's the main mode for this thing. Just treat it as a pump spell. Ritual, Grange, no respect for white. Sometimes you can identify that white's open, but even when it is open like this, you might not find a perfect deck with it. Wow, strong pack. Not a lot we can take advantage of. Giant Killer, I don't think that's worth splashing. Maybe it is. I mean, we have Egg and Beanstalk Giant, but still. And then Hengewalker as a nice green 3-drop. And Ranger, though I'm a little less happy about that one. And another Paladin. I can see Hengewalker here. We don't have a huge payoff for just being all green creatures necessarily, but yeah, it's funny. Hengewalker is actually one of the better green 3-drops, and there's not much else at that slot that can perform. I guess there's the mana ramp elf, but yeah, Hengewalker versus Paladin. Paladin could wheel. If nothing else, Curious Pair might wheel. We'll see about that. I see a lot of good blue cards getting passed these days, which is surprising since that is a color that I respect. Then we have a 2/2, which we have very few ways of pumping it. Maybe 3 ways of pumping it, but not too much better than a 2/2. It would be better if it was not human. Intruder, I mean, this whole pack's just kind of weak. Let's take the Gargoyle because why not? All right, Carriage, that's a playable. Another Golden Egg and a 2-Unveiled Treefolk, which plays nicely on these Witch Stalkers, making them a little too big to handle. Golden Egg, that does give us another food, but I think we have enough foods to compete here. Cool. Lucky Clover. Let's just take Keeper of Fables now. We missed up on one of those and a second or a third Paladin. And at this point, a lot of the stuff we'll be hitting with is non-human. Pairs well with Ginger Brute. Yeah. The Snapper, I think it's better than the Snapper here. By a little bit. No more green. I think that's okay since we're still getting some playables. We get Scalding Cauldron. I'll put that in a deck. This deck doesn't want too many more than one of these, but one is totally fine. Kills some flyer that's in your way. And Drawbridge might be good in a deck like this. A lot of expensive creatures. Just give them haste and have something to block with early. Yeah, surprisingly good. Get your 7/7 down there and swing the same turn. Over another Treefolk. That is a tough one. I'll take the Treefolk. I want to maximize the power here and not necessarily the speed and tempo of it. Appetite +5/+5. Having one of these is solid. Another Trail of Crumbs coming late. Well, don't mind if I do. 2 Trails of Crumbs. Giant Opportunity, Ginger Brute. I might cut Jousting Dummy at this point. We definitely want 17 lands. Appetite's probably good for a splash. Wow. Another Paladin and Curious Pair. Curious Pair does what we want with double Trail of Crumbs. Not to mention a couple Tree Folk. I'll cut Return to Nature at this point. It's just not as consistent as the rest of our deck, and maybe the Carver. It's a bit awkward to cut that, but in a super food-heavy deck, I think Appetite is better. Then we have 2 Once and Futures. If we ever die to damage, it's not super likely that we die to damage. Let's see what our creatures look like here. Something like that. So the curve's not awful, and we certainly don't mind playing out Trail of Crumbs early. Or the Cauldron, or the Egg. We're a little light on removal, which is a reason to bring in Return to Nature, but we should just have the biggest monsters, which means, you know, our opponents need removal, not us. But against some decks, I'd put in Return to Nature for sure. Once in Future, maybe we could cut one of those, but I think they're too strong in a mono green deck. So, are we missing out by not playing Bacon to Pie? Maybe, but the Witchstalkers are on that same power level. Often your opponent would have to spend a Bacon to Pie to kill one of these, and then you just come out even. Curious Pair, yeah, these ones are generally not amazing, but with double Trail of Crumbs and Giant Opportunity, it makes enough sense that I'll include it here. Oh, the Cauldron. So we have Outmuscle and Scalding Cauldron. And sometimes I like to look at who's in our draft while we're waiting here. Thalia Go. Nice. Spicaro. This is a name. Daniel Arpey, Giggles, JP, and who's the last one? We'll never know. Oh, well. The nameless passer of our cards. Yeah, forget it. We have enough in green to keep us going here. Quick deck building. Didn't get any of those gingerbread cabins that we might have wanted, but yeah, I'll go 17. In a monocolor deck, it's often correct to go 16, but we have enough expensive stuff between 2 Tree Folks and enough ways to draw cards as well with the Trail of Crumbs that I think we can get away with 17 here. Once and Futures are expensive. Yeah, we don't want to risk too many games where we can't, we can't play out our stuff on turn 4. So there we go. Mono green food. Round 1, McLean takes the play. We'll keep it. We've got our Trail of Crumbs into Hengewalker into the Food Wolf. This is why I like being on the play in this format. There's so little you can do on turn 1 to get ahead. And I already feel behind. Oh, close. Well, that's a turn 5 play for us. It's debatable what's better between 3 foods and a Trail of Crumbs, or a 7/7. But if we're really good, we can sacrifice the 2 foods and on turn 5 draw 2 extra cards with Trail of Crumbs. Yeah, that's awesome. Savvy Hunter. Yeah, I really hope they don't kill our Hengewalker here. And we start to get way behind. Another food deck, though. Let's see if the monocolor food deck can beat the black-green food deck. Reeve's Soul, yep, that messes us up. It sure does. Taking 5, they get a food. They could sack it to the noble here and get another damage in, but they are not doing that yet. Okay, Witch Stalker, and then probably 7/7 next turn. We have good stuff. It's just like, look at how far behind we are. Bacon to pie. Just a perfect start on the play. Like if we were on the play, we probably would have won easily, and if they're on the play, they win easily. There's nothing much we can do about all this except maybe have had Curious Pair earlier. Too bad. Yeah, what a perfect draw. Land, we know we'll do that. And yeah, let's get a 7/7 down there. We can get food in other ways, as long as they don't have another bacon to pie. I think we're all set. Only way of winning this game is going to be to get maximum value here. We could gain a little life later. They've got a ton of life and cards with the Savvy Hunter. Let's see. As long as they don't have another bacon to pie, like that's the big thing we want to avoid here. Obviously, because another Reeve Soul doesn't do it. Outmuscle doesn't do it. And it's Murderous Rider. Well, I can't come back from that. It's literally 7 with the Noble, so yeah, what a good draw. Now, I don't want Back to Nature. It also attacks the graveyard, which could be helpful for us, but I'm just going to submit again like this. We should have enough early to deal with them, and of course we'll choose to be on the play here. And avoid their God draw. That was kind of absurd. Yes, I will take the play this time, and I'll keep this. It's amazing what one removal spell does to mess us up here. We've got Trail of Crumbs, Witch Stalker, and then if we try to put counters on the Witch Stalker, and they have Bacon to Pie, they just 2-for-1 us, and we don't have anything left. I guess we have 2 foods left. So we'll have to try not to set ourselves up for a 2-for-1 as bad as that. But everything else is going well. Trail of Crumbs right on time. And to mess us up that way, they would have to take a turn off. Noble, not too big of a deal. There's no reason not to do the food here. I'm just going to see what we get. Cauldron, sure. We have plenty of lands for now. So Forest on the bottom. And that's another reason to have a lot of lands in the deck. Trail of Crumbs is going to be able to help sift through them. Break through mana pockets. So we take at least 2 here. And they seem to be missing green. But it could just be they have an adamant spell this turn. Like draw 2, get a food. Oh, a Cauldron. Right. Nothing for it here. Make a Witch Stalker, make a food. Right on time. And then just keep curving out with bigger and bigger creatures. Because a lot of their removal just doesn't hit the Witch Stalker. The Cauldron doesn't do it. Reeve Soul doesn't do it. They know we have our own Cauldron. Murderous Rider. The card is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And that's a good one to play first. They might also have Bacon to Pie, but playing this one first means they can play it out. Just see if they have more removal than we have spells. Yeah, I mean, I suppose they could double up the Noble and Scalding Cauldron to kill the Paladin, but I'll accept that trade. If it's just bacon to pie, I don't know what to tell you. They only have 3 cards, and yet they also have it all. Or maybe they just have many, many bacon to pies. In which case, good draft. Once in future, that does get both of those back. And then we can lay out Scalding Cauldron. And then get as much value out of our Tree Folk as possible. Yeah, I mean, these are good cards. And we're not dead yet, like part of the reason it was nice to be on the draw here. And we haven't missed a land drop yet, so things are still in control, I would say. Everything's under control. Our board is better, kind of. They were on the draw, so they still have a little more to work with than we do, like the Rider plus the 3 cards in hand. I guess we're doing Witchstalker plus Cauldron this next turn. I do want to see where they scry here. 2 cards on the bottom. And then, yeah, it's likely I just want to Cauldron away this Noble before it gets any bigger. Yeah, I guess, oh, that's funny. If they want to sack that into our Cauldron, I don't think they want to do that. Okay, they're setting themselves up for failure here. Don't let them untap with it. Play our Witchstalker. I guess that's kind of a 2-for-1. Their food was free, but we dealt with that. It did force our hand. Like, now we don't have the Cauldron to deal with something else, but that's probably what I was going to use it on anyway, so they just used a food up on that. Bacon to pie our Witchstalker? No. Okay. Get off easy this time. 7, 8. It's almost enough to do a lot this turn, but I might just go Paladin and then crack a food to draw a card. Oh, even better. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Let's do this. Now, each time we sacrifice a food, we are drawing many, many cards. But we can wait a turn to do that. Get this guy out there and just pass it. I don't want to trade Witchstalker with Guardian yet. Rider, 7, 3 cards available. Ayara. Thank goodness we'll be able to gain a lot of life here. But then they play Rider, drain us for another one. I have not dealt with Ayara very much yet. Played against it or played with it. It's strong, but a real payoff for the mono black deck. And I haven't drafted the mono black deck, or at least if I have, I haven't drafted it with Ayara. Oh, I really don't want to see Bacon to Pie here. And they didn't play Murderous Rider, so I don't know. Maybe they have it. They could be trying to team up on Paladin. One other enters the battlefield, sack another one, draw a card. 7. Yeah, that doesn't bode well for us. Yeah, I think this is a good play. As long as their last card isn't just Bacon to Pie, and I don't think it is. I think what they're doing is holding up Scalding Cauldron to trade with the Paladin. Okay, that worked. Then we can attack for 6, so they don't have a reasonable double block here. They might still spend Wicked Guardian and Cauldron on this. No, they'll take it all. Great. Now, gain some life. Draw some cards. Once in future on the bottom. That would be twice in future, though. Keeper, since we have our lands, yeah, let's grab Keeper. So we should bury them in card advantage soon. Oh, we didn't draw a player land for the turn. Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, we definitely want to crack the food there then. Great. 16. They shouldn't be able to kill us this turn. They're going to be gaining a lot of extra life. I mean, they aren't mono black, so maybe it's not as good. Here comes Murderous Rider. If we were at lower life, I wouldn't always yield to Ayara because we might want to crack food in response. But what now? They still have Scalding Cauldron up. It's still a pretty good attack with the Witch Stalker. And it's still unlikely that they have Bacon to Pie. So one thing I could do is make this an 8/8. And then they have to commit 2 creatures to it. And we still might draw a card off of this. So we get this guy out there. We come in for 8. And then we have 2 pretty good blockers back. I'm still feeling decent about my life total. Yeah, 3 creatures. They would have to block with 3 creatures so we don't do damage to them. It's kind of rough. No more removal. Oh, they're going in on it. Interesting. So they're going to use the Scalding Cauldron here, but we basically get a 4 for 1. Nice. Let's see if we get a land here. Nice. Hitting a land drop every turn is great when we have almost unlimited stuff to do. Yeah, they finish it off. Oh well. Witch's Oven. Nice. Hopefully we don't see too many cats, but sack another. Well, now they have tons of sacrifice outlets. Elf Noble. All right, all right. I don't see a good way for them to kill the Paladin or even block it. So we can get in there with the Paladin, but first, well, let's just do that first. I don't know how much mana we're going to need to use this turn. I think it might be better to pad our life total by sacking a food. 11, nice. And that would be 4 mana. Tell you what, since we hit our land drop, let's just cast a lot of big stuff. Doesn't matter if we overshoot a little bit, since I'm just going to do another Tree Folk here. And hope they don't wrath us somehow. But the only real wrath is in white. There's like a pseudo one-sided wrath in red, but basically you need 7 red mana to do 7 damage to each of 3 creatures. Very nice. On the draw again is going to be rough. We might put in some more early interaction just to survive that early bit. Return to Nature doesn't seem amazing in this matchup. Maybe I could put in Jousting Dummy and take out, oh, I don't know, take out 2 Unveiled Treefolk. I mean, they're so strong if we can get them going. But the Jousting Dummy's a nice one. Take out a Once in Future, maybe. We have enough sort of value here that I just want to be able to survive early. It's a small change, but I think it's worth it on the draw here. Yeah, I mean, if we survive, we should have enough value between the Trail of Crumbs, Keeper, 1 Once in Future, and so forth. Not to mention just the overall bigness of our creatures. Oh, I guess Return to Nature does deal with Witch's Oven. Oh, that's such a good point. Actually, yeah. I'm going to make this change. Forget Jousting Dummy. We might have to exile the cat from the graveyard. If possible. I guess that's unlikely to happen because you can just get it back, but killing the Witch's Oven is important. And I'm assuming they have it. Gosh, well, it's not a bad start. Given that we might have to kill Ayara. Ayara's a 2/3, right? Treats to Share. Not as scary out of their deck. Though we actually don't have a way of dealing with a 1/3 that we're happy to use anyway. 1/3s are meant to be blocked, not to be scalded. Here's the Curious Pair. Oh, man. I guess that's not the worst thing we could have drawn. But we might just cast it for the food. Especially against their deck, where they just kill it. Hopefully we draw something better to do. We could also Once in Future it back. No, don't pass the turn, don't pass it. Oh my god. There was a bit of lag, sometimes that really gets me. Huh. Well, I don't know. We could make 3 food here, but I think it's better to pass it and use Trail of Crumbs at the end step if we don't have to use Scalding Cauldron. It could change how they play their turn. Deathless Night. Shoot, that's one they can keep getting back for free. I don't want to use the Cauldron on it. I think I just want to gain some life here. What do we want? I guess we just want creatures now that we have a handful of lands. Yeah, that Deathless Night is going to be nearly impossible to deal with, but we'll do our best. Pretty close to impossible. Unfortunately, we pad our life total with these foods and things. And the other nice part about this is they don't have an engine to get the Deathless Night back turn after turn. They get it back once, which is already annoying since we only have one way to kill it. But we're not out of this yet. Okay, We're out of it. We are out of it yet. Keeper. Let's see how quickly Keeper dies. 11, 12. I think we are just dead here if Keeper dies. Again, maybe this game was possible if we were on the draw, or the play, but they won the die roll, so they get to curve out at each game. Rankle too? Yep. Each player sacrifices a creature. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. They might even make us draw a card. Each player discards a card. You might as well do it all, right? Loses a life, draws a card, and sacks a creature. So we go to 6. I think they could have just killed us here. I guess we block Conrad and it doesn't work out quite as well. Then we can kill Rankle and gain some life. Maybe that'll be good enough. Definitely not. Let's see, 9, 10. Plus they activate Conrad 3 times. So we need to sack 2 foods to even have a chance here. And we can only sacrifice 1 food. Or we could get a chump blocker. Yeah, we definitely don't need the land, but I think we're pretty much canceled here. All right, round 1 is a loss. Round 2 versus Kaliki. Would you like to play first? We'd love to play first. Thank you for asking. And let's mulligan. I know we have 18 or 17 lands in the deck, but we do need to draw some of them. And for this, I like keeping it and throwing back Gingerbrute, of all things. The other option there was to put back a land. But yeah, Gingerbrute's just not going to be as hard-hitting as anything else here. It can be a fun one, but let's see, mono black or blue black? Come on, get that land. No, Paladin, that's one I wouldn't have minded drawing, but I guess we need the 5th land first. Blue-black has all the common answers to big creatures. Tap them, bounce them, kill them. And if they keep milling us, then even 1-mana enchantments deal with them fully. Pair, didn't need that. We'll just get Witchstalker in play. See if they stumble on mana here. No. See if they hold up counter magic. I probably play into counter magic here. It's unfortunate to do that, but foreboding fruit. Okay. I'm glad that we can at least play our Witchstalker. And the mill kind of helps me, at least for a little bit here. giving me more options with once in future. I'd love to draw another paladin, if possible. Don't need more lands, so that's good. They don't need more lands either, so they've been hitting nicely off their own collector. 3 lands. Revenge of Ravens. Yeah. We might as well get back 2 things right away. And then make a food. As opposed to killing the collector, which is just no real advantage. And then with so many foods, we're not worried about Revenge of Ravens killing us. It just takes longer to kill them. Turns our attacks for 7 into attacks for 5, which is a real pain. See what's dying here. Nothing is dying. That is wonderful for us, because we can just outmuscle that thing. Which I can only imagine is the correct play. I guess it kind of depends. Because this is the turn they don't have any counter magic backup to really protect it. Might as well cast the pair. Doesn't help us kill them, but it is something we can do. So it looks like we have lethal creatures. We don't. But if both of them hit, that's good news. Actually, yeah, if they go up to, they go up to 6 here, so see what happens. Goodbye Reaper of Night, goodbye Appetite, which would have probably won us the game here, depending on how much good stuff they hold up. Foreboding Fruit on themselves? They go up to 5. Still, I don't think that gets us here unless they have So Tiny. Yeah, they pretty much need So Tiny here. Drown in the Lock. Oh, what if they also have So Tiny? Oh my god. Well, they still take 2, right? And that uses up all of their stuff this turn. Pretty tempted to crack a food for life, but maybe getting a 7/7 is too strong. Like, we kind of need the life if we're going to kill them. Let's see if they have another answer for Paladin, or worse yet, a way to mill us so this doesn't do any damage. And they still have the food, so Hengewalker takes 5 turns to kill them on its own. We get pretty low here. In fact, we can't even use the Giant Opportunity anymore without killing our own Hengewalker. Gadwick? And hold up food. Keep these foods back for a bit. Conrad's out. Okay. Wow. Goodbye, Gadwick. I hope. And make a 7/7? Yeah, I think we have to. Because if they find a way to deal with either of these things, we're in such bad shape. It does mean both have to hit. Well, I guess only the giant has to hit. If we only attack with the giant. Goodbye, Witch Stalker. That would have been a nice draw. Anything that makes food is going to be a good draw. Sanctuary to get back Drown in the Loch. To the top of their deck. See if they draw 2, make a food. Oh my god. Yeah, there's like no way we can win this anymore. Well, it doesn't make a food, and it can't block the paladin, but it does kill our giant. I guess we have to attack with both. Because if they kill the paladin, then they have more time to deal with the giant. So they kill the giant. They take a bunch. They have another So Tiny. Alright. Maybe they'll mill themselves here. Probably not, but maybe. And Eye Collector's just been helping Revenge of Ravens. So we're actually dead very soon. We have one more Once in Future. Hopefully they haven't found a counterspell yet besides Drown in the Loch. One mana answers to all of our biggest creatures. Drawing more cards, okay. We have a sturdy defense here. Try not to use this food until... Actually, I'll play the land. Until we have treats to share. Or, sorry, whatever you call it. Trail of Crumbs. Trail of Treats. What do they have here? We're not out of this game. I mean, it's looking grim. But not as grim as it could be. What I don't want to see is them play the black land that puts a creature back on top for them. But what? Come on now. This is what I didn't want to happen. This is why the main deck Return to Nature looks so nice. We would have won years ago if we drew that instead of pretty much anything. Into the story, draw 4 more. They could win this turn. Well, no, they couldn't. But they could almost win this turn if they mill 2 creatures off the top with Collector. Skewer, well, that also hurts a lot. That hurts a little bit. It forces us to use our food, which sucks. And it kills us in 2 turns here, so we'll see what happens. Once in Future, that's potentially very good. This is what? Combat damage, so we could kill Eye Collector. Without muscle. And then get giant opportunity to make 3 more foods. Out muscle. Giant opportunity, that's 4. We have 5 left. And they... it's not going to be good enough. Because they can just play their big guy and then use it twice, and we're at 3 life. But what else can we do? What else can we really do? 4, that uses 8. We have no mana left this turn. So yeah, let's just, I mean, it's the only play we have, right? So let's do it. We go out muscle. Or alternatively, we could save out muscle for next turn and gain 3 life this turn, but we're still in the same boat if we do that. So I think, even worse shape. So I think we go out muscle, giant opportunity. And out muscle that collector. With basically anything. Curious pair is fine. Pass it and lose, maybe? Probably. They could even attack. Well, I guess they don't get to attack here because their mana is better spent on other stuff. It's not even that good of an attack. It does make them a food, but I don't want their creature to die. And they're more likely to lose to milling themselves. Yeah, now they can't even kill us here. This is great. And we'll have plenty of life. Plenty of life. Don't counter it. Oh no. Oh, say it isn't so. Oh, shoot. Okay. All right. So if Conrad attacks, we just have to make sure very few creatures die here. 1 or 2 at most. What's our last card? Is it a Witch Stalker? 1, 2. I think it's a Witch Stalker. Tap that thing. It's pretty good, pretty good. Another Drown in the Lock? 3 of these? 3 of these? Gadwick, Conrad. I don't understand how it can be so good. I mean, I tried my best, everyone. I don't understand. So close to winning that. All right, well, we'll win the next one. We'll have an answer to some of this with the Return to Nature. The Once and Futures were very good. Cauldron will be good. Trail of Crumbs, Marley Friday. I think all this stuff is good. We just need one cut, which can be... We need our big stuff too. Could cut a Curious Pair, though even the food seems to be important. Or just play 41 cards. No, I want 40 cards. We have too many cards we need to draw. But what can we do? I can't believe they had the 3rd Drown in the Lock. Outmuscled Paladin. Of all the cards to cut, it might have to be Treefolk here. 1 Treefolk is plenty, I guess. Have to be careful with Drown in the Lock and our Giant, but they're playing 41. Okay, this could be a super early Giant. Go all in on that plan. Treats to Share, Trail of Crumbs, Opportunity. And if that doesn't do it for us, it means we probably never drew our 3rd land. I might wait a little bit on that. If we can do that after we play Hengewalker, we can potentially Come on, land. We can potentially draw a card off of it. Nah, I'll just get a 7/7 out there. So much for food, huh? On the play with a 7/7 on turn 3. They can bounce it. They can bounce it and replay Collector, which would be absurd. They could do that after attacks. We didn't see bounce from them. And I think they're more of a black deck. So you lose a forest, they lose fruit. Too many Drown in the Locks. The thing is, they can already kill our giant with Drown in the Lock. Oh no, I forgot about that. They have 3 in the deck. I should have played Hengewalker. They're just going to kill this right now. Maybe not. Servant as a 2/3. No Drown in the Locks yet. Cool. Getting some monsters. They could attach the Skewer to the Servant, which gives them a solid thump this turn, but they really can't afford to spend mana on that, on those luxuries. Okay, that stops our giant from attacking. I think we just use Return to Nature to kill the Servant and to hit for an absolute mega load of damage. Looks good to me. Got the mega load. Puts them down very low. They only have 3 mana. Even if they kill the giant, they're in bad shape. And looks like they drew land. So if they haven't killed the giant already, I don't think they're going to kill it now. Drown in the Lock should say non-token creature. It's already good enough. Can they do it? They need to kill the giant and gain life, or have a blocker and gain life. Servant and So Tiny. That might do it. At least we're likely to hit with a thing this turn. Great. Whew, all right. They're back on the play, which is scary, but acceptable, I guess. Do we still want 17 lands? Sure. We can make that work. Excellent. We'll keep it. Again, we have some pretty early plays we can make. If we get stuck on 2 lands, that would be unfortunate. But on the draw, 15 lands left in our deck, there's a good chance we'll draw land in our first 3 cards. Or maybe even our first card. Revenge of Ravens is a solid answer to Ginger Brute, but if we can get 3 or 4 damage in with it early, we're in good shape. Or at least better shape. And it would still draw cards off our keeper, so that's nice. This is about as well as you can curve out with an aggressive deck. Brute, 3 power, 3 power. Uh-oh. Smitten Swordmaster. Oh yeah, smite this. They might. We have to watch out. I don't really care about the rider, but I do want to get that thing out of the way. So Tiny there. Okay. Clockwork Servant. No big monsters yet that we can't deal with. But I guess we can cauldron that thing here. Keep getting damage in where we can. And Trail of Crumbs later. Hopefully Keeper of Fables this next turn, depending on how much they do. Foreboding Fruit, it's a good sign. If that's all they can do this turn, they find their land. They have 2 blue up. That shouldn't be able to counter Keeper, and it means we get to draw a card here. Unless they have 2 So Tinies, in which case... Okay, just gaining life. Alright, back in the driver's seat here. Double Trail of Crumbs. That's one they could counter if they hold up mana, but I doubt they'll counter both. Especially when they risk getting attacked for a ton of damage here. Queen of Ice could come down. Oh, no. Unless they're looking for that island. Kind of greedy. Eye Collector, Eye Collector. Sure. Sure, why not? Give this guy unblockability. Is it worth block? I'm not even sure if they would block it there. I think they would, though. And then get both our trails down. Because black-blue doesn't have many ways of dealing with extra trails like that. Oh, that's a good draw. Oh, it auto-yielded to it. Nice. Pass. So our board's looking good. They're going to mill 2, which may help our once in future find something good to do. But that's one way we can win, is just to... There goes another So Tiny and a pretty good creature. In game 1, we almost milled them out. Revenge. Revenge. Yeah, that does suck. But we get essentially 3 damage in this turn. Or 8 if we really wanted. And we get to draw a card. So let's see what happens. We have to be careful with these Trail of Crumbs, because when we look at that, we're not going to find our answer to Revenge of Ravens with it, although we could get it back with Once in Future. So that could be something. Yeah. Oh no, putting a Once in Future on the bottom kind of sucks. Oh wow, what are all these lands doing here? Gross. Keep looking here. Oh shoot, I made a mistake. I'm not going to get as much out of this. Another curious pair. Ah, shoot, made a mistake. We have plenty of food though, so I'm not too bummed about this. In fact, we didn't see our answer to Revenge, so we might still find it. And if they mill it with these Eye Collectors again, that might be good for us. They milled 2 pretty good ones. And they only have 2 cards left, so I'm feeling not awful about this. They're probably holding up counter magic. But that's okay. This is, again, this is combat damage. See if they kill our Keeper. First things first, though, let's attack with our Keeper. And if they kill it, it means they're not going to counter something. Treats. Tree Folk, nice. And there's our return to nature on the bottom. It's too bad. I guess it was bound to happen. Shoot. We can keep doing it. I mean, we can cycle through our library pretty nicely. But that is not good. Your turn. We have a million life, but we don't have any creatures that can attack into this. And they can potentially mill us this game. See if they counter Paladin. Yeah, we just need to get some bigger creatures down. Start using our stuff. Adamant support. Let's get back Paladin. And Cauldron. Of all the crazy things to get back. And then 3 hits off of a Paladin does kill them. And they don't have many cards left. That's the only silver lining here. Servant, I guess that helps them. Keep drawing bit by bit. We might be forced to kill one of these eye collectors so we have more turns to hit them. Hold on. How much damage can we do this turn? 11? -1. Maybe it's even better than that. Though, if they have another Drown in the lock, we're in super bad shape. So I think it's not worth it to risk that this turn. Just come in here. Play another monster. And then the rest is up to, I don't know, killing one of these collectors. All right, this is lethal on the board. I should have been counting where we put our thing. I think we haven't sacked a food since then. Oh, yes, all right. So they didn't find, I guess they're looking for their second of 3 Drown in the locks, and they didn't quite find it. How much damage did we have last turn? Basically, they go up to 5. No, I forget what they had left. Anyway, good deal. On to our pseudo finals here. We're 1-1, trying to go 2-1. Last round, we get the play versus Callisto. Keep it. This has 2 foods on turn 2, potentially. So if we can find our giant, we can get that out there. I guess if we didn't draw that, we might as well play Curious Pair. Depends what they put down. Another black deck. Yeah, play Curious Pair. That might actually get a damage or 2 in. It'd be a shame if our top 2 cards had the Giant Maker, but well, we'll see that. There it is. Oh no. What can you do? Sometimes you just don't know. Well, shucks. I might not even play it here, though. I might just play Witchstalker. Tome Raider. Don't really want to outmuscle that. Just keep curving out. Actually, that's really tough. Let's be mana efficient. It's likely they have a way to deal with something, especially a token. If this was like a mono red deck, I might play the 7/7 because they have no way of dealing with that. But if they go like bounce Tome Raider, bounce our Giant, that's really bad. And if they waste tapping this, then we could play this later. It's a tough call, but I like this well enough. And a 4/4 is plenty big. It's plenty hard to deal with. They've got our draw step. Who knows? Maybe that means they have a folio of fancies. And we might as well keep playing big monsters. Doesn't quite pose lethal next turn. But it's close. It's 10 already. 11 with an out muscle. You can see how annoying it is to be on the draw when your first play is a Tome Raider. They have 7 cards, but only 5 lands. Basically, this blocks nothing. It can block 1 damage. Well, that kills them, but see what happens here. I'm not going to go for it. It's more likely that they have, well, bacon to pie for 1. And then, shoot, then what? Then we could get a ton of damage in here by using Appetite, sacking a food, and then playing a 7/7. It's still not incredible, but it does mean they can't have much else. Puts them at 3. We don't need golden egg for anything. All it really is a food. It's already done its job by drawing a card. And then they need 2 toughness or a kill spell for Witchstalker to sacrifice a food or any number of things. But if we can outmuscle a soul blocker, looks like they're going to tap the Giant. Maybe tap the Witchstalker. That's kind of risky. If their plan is to gain 3 life and tap the Witchstalker and chump the Giant. And they have a million cards, so it's just a matter of what can they do this turn. But I might just spend the turn attacking, and then once in future back Paladin. Or if we draw land, we could once in future back Appetite. Uh-oh, that deals with things nicely, doesn't it? That should be a win for us, though. We outmuscle the Queen of Ice. It's only combat damage that gets it. And then we have plenty of extra damage to get through there. Cool. I said cool. Good deal. They might have just been checking if that taps down our Witchstalker. Does not. It's fight damage, not combat damage. There's a difference. Return to Nature should probably come in. There are just so many things blue can do to you. So tiny. Frost something or other. Rider's a little worse. I don't think I want Rider. It's fine, but to cut anything, we'd have to cut one of these big monsters. It's a good way to curve out, but oh no, this is awful. It's almost tempting, because if we get that third land, it's pretty good, but let's mulligan. This could be better. I think we keep it and toss back, keep her. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate or awkward, but it makes sure we can play a threat on time. If we don't draw that third land, for instance, fourth land rather, we need to get the Witch Stalker down. Because this gets us our fourth land for Witch Stalker, and potentially gets a turn 4 or 5 drop, which I guess we'll have access to anyway. Overwhelmed Apprentice. You're about to be overwhelmed by your superiors, or at least creatures far bigger. No attacks, kind of funny. I guess why would you attack, but all it really prevents against is 2 ginger brutes coming in. Sultai. Okay. I have beaten Oko before. On turn 3, no less. But let me begin with this. It's not easy. It's never easy. Yep. You get a 3/3 every other turn, and Oko has 14 loyalty. Why? I don't think they should have given it 4 starting loyalty. I think they should have given it 20 starting loyalty. It wouldn't have made a big difference. You might as well make cards exciting for people to play with. Don't. Oh no. That'd be the talk of the town if you gave it a 20 loyalty. Oh, what are they gonna do? Happily ever after us? That would be exciting. What is this white splash for? I mean, the good news is that things are going to be over soon. The bad news is that no amount of 3, 4, and 5 drops from our deck can compete with their 3 mana. Spinning Wheel, that's all 5 mana if they need it. What can we do? Treats to Share, Witch Stalker, and pass. Good luck, Oko. Are we dead here? No, they don't yet have enough to tap down Witch Stalker, and even if they did, we're not dead to it. We go to 1. They should have attacked that first turn, then we would be dead to this attack. They're still going to go for it. Maybe that's okay, because we gain a lot of life here, and we can pressure Oko. Yeah, we can pressure Oko. If we drew Appetite, we could have even killed it. Oh shoot, no, we couldn't have even killed it, because the thing's at 20 loyalty. Alright, yeah, we don't have enough mana here. Still curious what their white splash might be, or their black splash for that matter. The game is ended. So, sideboarding. Great. Cool, cool. The Return to Nature looks good. I still don't love Marleaf Rider. It might make more sense in this deck, but we really just need all our big stuff. Yeah. Sign me up. And we have Scalding Cauldron to deal with some 3 toughness creatures. Back on the play, and I will say this, our deck is one of the better decks against an Oko because it can't interact, Oko itself can't really interact with 4-power creatures. It's still going to pump out 3/3s every other turn for free, but you have a chance against it at least because they can't trade foods with everything. Witching Well. Yeah, that Scry really helps out between the Wells and the Overwhelmed Apprentice to set up that God draw. That turn 3 Oko. Come on, land. We need to keep hitting these lands here. I would love to save this opportunity, but that might depend on drawing land here. Yeah, I think we save it. Black, blue. Because the food doesn't do anything for us here. Expensive hand. No Oko. I don't know what it's going to be, though. Emery. Mill Oko, please. No, they mill Bacon to Pie, So Tiny, Witching Well. They can get Witching Well back with Emery. Crazy deck. Yes. It's a good start. Witch Stalker. That's our second food. Now, if they don't deal with it right away, we might even make a 6/6. And then even Oko can't survive a hit from it. Well, the first turn it's in play anyway. Fierce Witch, putting 8 mana into this actually kills Oko, and all that's left is a food. Oh, shoot. Looks like it's going to be something Bacon to Pie. Bake into Pie-esque. Oh, that's cool. Giant Opportunity doesn't lose the foods if it doesn't resolve. So yeah, let's do that. They could counter it, but then we keep our foods. Easy, easy peasy. Nice. Then we can resolve the real threats. What did they target? Witching Well? Okay, Witching Well in play. More scries. They are scrying more than you'd believe. And it might be a good time to outmuscle this Emery. Then again, if it's just them using 5 mana and tapping Emery each turn to draw 2 cards, we could probably race that. Well, we'll see. Once in future. I'm going to have to do something this turn. Hopefully they don't just kill our Witch Stalker. That would be unfortunate. Okay. Okay. They milled a Bacon to Pie. They have another one. This has been a tough tournament. My deck's good, but it's commons. They have these mythic Bacon to Pies over here. Now they can replay Witching Well if they really want. Yeah, it would have been a lot better for me that turn if I drew a land. Then I wouldn't have had to go all in on... I guess I didn't have to. I could have just saved it. Land? Come on now. Whatever. Kill this Emery before it takes over the world. It's already done a ton, but... Land, please. Land, please. Maybe Oko's their I mean, it looks like it. Oko's pretty much the splash card. They could play it off Spinning Wheel and make their food into a 3/3 immediately, which is a 5 loyalty Oko. I guess they don't have it here. They might have more counter magic. We drew once in future. Sure. Let's get some stuff back. Like, we don't even have anything else to try. Counter this, then we can do it again. Turn 8. Hopefully we get land eventually. Use a Witching Well. Back up to 6 cards. I'll tell you how we win this game. We mill them. What's all this? Conrad? Eleonora. Close. Helps with our mill plan, at least. And then hold up counter magic. Hold up Oko. Golden Egg. We did it. We did it. Easy. Take 6 from Eleonora. I think we just want to play this monster. Keeper's better as a follow-up. Not trade off with Eleonora. They can tap down 1 creature at a time. I mean, we're pretty far behind here. Pretty far behind because I didn't really expect the second bacon to pie. Not that they cast the first one, but I didn't expect the second one when they had so few cards in their hand. Now it would be reasonable. But they did hold up mana, so maybe that was a sign that they had it. And getting in 4 damage is good enough there. 2 mana. God, what's this going to be? I don't know, but still no land. Oh, and this thing's tapped from Queen of Ice. Yeah, it's just not getting easy. 5. Play another 5 mana creature while we can. Eleanor's back to a 5. Power thing. They could get in 10, 11 damage here. It's going to be tough, but Witching Well. That's 9. Tap this and then crack Witching Well. That's, well, pretty close to killing us. Does anything untap here? I think at least one thing must untap. Emery and Oko. There we go. Land eventually. We go up to 9 life and get in a bunch of damage this turn. That might be enough. They do 6. Wait, what? Oh, it cost 1,000,000 mana to do. Okay, hold on. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're dead if we don't kill Eleonora. Or something. Maybe I can just play Witchstalker, but then they tap that. I don't think we can win. We have to leave back our paladin and then gain life with our food. That's all I can see. Because sometimes you can't play around what your opponent might have in their hand, but we're dead on board if we do anything but this. Or I suppose just sack 3 foods and attack. But that's also awkward and doesn't give us any chance of winning, because then they can start tapping down our only creature. And I don't think there's anything we could have drawn there off the paladin to help us much. What's this? 7 mana? Haven't you done enough? What could this be? I have no idea what that would be. Gadwick? Gadwick blue spell. Blue spell? Charmed Sleep, yep. A good start. But that doesn't kill us. It's 8. It's close. Did they just give us an out to win here? We go to 1, and they're tapped out. We need to do like double damage here somehow, but maybe there's a chance. No, it still doesn't look like there's much of a chance, huh? Need many more lands and a couple solid spells to get there. They can tap down one thing, we can gain a bunch of life, we can outmuscle the Griffin, which is probably a good start. Outmuscle the Griffin, go up to 4, then Eleonora kills us. Unless we have another chumper. Or we could leave all our stuff back to block again, which might work. Yeah, leave all our stuff back again. No attacks. This is called never giving up. But it's the right play. I mean, if we're trying to maximize our chance of winning this game, we might as well do everything we can to try to win it. And that means surviving. One more turn. See, from 16 life, they do also have 9 life in the bank. And an Oko somewhere in there. Draw with Witching Well. They also only have 9 minutes left. I guess that's probably not going to matter. Well, they've almost done it. They could cast Sliver Queen here. Are they going to do it? Add red? No, another green. What are they doing? I don't know. Whatever they're doing, it looks exciting. But yeah, I don't see a way for them to win on board. So that they need something. Something special here. Bunch of green. Maybe they're going to Once in Future? But what does that do? Once in future, bake into pie. Griffin. Cast Griffin. Pass. We're alive! We did it! Honestly, the best card we could draw here is land, and I don't think land wins it. Take your time. I've got all day. They play another swamp. And they use 2 foods for mana, so at least that limits how much life they can have here. If I were them, I'd probably bake into pie something and then have the food up. No, they're going to be a little more greedy. So that means no attacks from Eleanor this turn. Apprentice too, great. Put Oko on top of their deck. Trail of Crumbs. I don't think that helps us much here. I need the life. They kill us with Steelgaze Griffin alone. They tap something. So we go to 7, 5 mana left over, 2 blockers, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need 3 blockers if we just go to 7. 3 blockers if we go to 7. Oh, what to do? But 2 blockers, if we go to 10, 5, all right, so let's start this with treats. Maybe attack in with Witch Stalker, because I don't mind trading that with basically anything here. They're going to take it, which puts me a little closer to winning potentially. Trail of Crumbs. I think we need the blocker more than Trail of Crumbs. Sack both foods. Pass. Up to 4, could be up to 6. They tap down one thing, we have to chump that. That's a lot of mana though, so... And that's pretty much all their mana, to tap one thing and to draw 2 cards. So... well, we'll see what happens here. Yes, Cracking Witching Well. That's really good for me, because it severely limits what they can do this turn. And it might mean they don't attack with any ground creatures at all. Just Griffin coming in. We go up to 6. Or end up at 6. And they're at 11 now. That's a reasonable goal. Giant opportunity, just gain 1,000,000 life for a while. They play Island and Oko. Looks like Oko. They're going to trade creatures here. They could trade the food. They'll just make the food into a big thing. Oh, that's scary. And the bacon to pie. Does that kill us here? Probably. But not for calculating. I'm for gaining a ton of life. Blocking 3. And it's exact damage. Nicely done. Nicely done. What did we have coming up? I don't know. We survived a few extra turns, but ultimately we come out of this draft with nothing but the pleasure of seeing Oko, I guess. It's as close as we can get to it. But there you go. You're going to have to go up against these decks at some points, and sometimes you'll be lucky enough to get them. Thanks for watching, and good luck in your drafts.